Hello everybody, welcome back to INSANEBRIT Gaming. I'm the INSANEBRIT, and today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 price. Not only that, my thoughts and opinions of the actual console itself. And I've got to say, it does look pretty slick. I do like the look of it. There's a lot more interesting and better looking than the Xbox, which is just a rectangle at this point. It doesn't look that cool or anything like that. It's just bizarre. It looks like a tower. At least the PlayStation 5 looks a little bit different, a little bit interesting and futuristic. It's in the shape of a V, of course, the Roman numerals for 5, which I think is pretty cool. It does look okay laying down. It looks better standing up, but at the same time I'm going to lay my console down, of course. But yeah, it does look pretty awesome, like kind of futuristic. It is all in white. I have seen the black version of it, like mocked up or whatever. That would also look pretty cool as well, I've got to be honest with you. But yeah, the only one concern I do have is the edges at the very top of the V. It looks like they could just snap off. I think in the next couple of months after it comes out, or maybe even 1 or 2 years rather, sorry, if you go to buy a pre-owned one, I think that's going to be an issue where people have had the edges snapped off or whatever. I mean, that's just my opinion. In theory, at this point, you know, that's something that's very possible. I think that's something that may be an issue going forward as well, maybe even arriving in a box damaged. Who knows? I don't know. I just think they look very vulnerable, those particular parts of the actual console. Now let's talk about the pricing of the PS5 as well, because I want to go down a couple of things as well. They do have a digital version and the physical disc version, which I think is a nice option. You've given us the option. You haven't gone all digital, thank God, because there are gamers that just ain't ready for that, including myself. I'm not a fan of it. I've never been a fan of it. Also, if you go, and I'm going to give you a list of reasons why not to go digital, and they're good reasons. Okay, I've got to be honest with you. So I know I've spoken about them before, but I'm going to reiterate them today because it is going to be something that you need to think about before you decide to go for the digital version or the physical version as well. So yeah, let's talk about the pricing of the PlayStation 5 due to thanks to Amazon France. And I trust Amazon, obviously they're one of the biggest retailers in the world. It releases on the 20th of November 2020, the PlayStation 5. Now if I go here, it is €500. Now converted into pounds, that is £452. I think that was about the same price as the PlayStation 4, or was it the PlayStation 3? One of them was around that price point, or maybe it was both of them at least. So I'm happy it's not actually £500. Technically it is for the euro, but I think, well, you know, that's just their money. But yeah, so I'm happy it isn't 500 on the dot. Again, the extra £50 anyway you'll be spending on a game, or if you're new to PlayStation, you'll be buying a PSN. You'll be buying the online, so you know, PlayStation Plus, sorry, for 50 quid anyway for a year, let's be honest. So you'll probably end up forking that amount out anyway, especially if you want a game or two with it as well. So yeah, the physical version is £452. Okay, the digital version is is 100 or about £90 cheaper at 361. So that's a good price point. It's £100 difference, and to most gamers haven't got that, or a parent, you're going to go for that cheaper option. So I think it will sell pretty well in that respect, and they're going to make it up on digital sales anyway with respects to games, PSN or PS Plus, sorry, rather even PlayStation Now if you're interested in purchasing that. So €400, £360 in our money. It is the cheaper option. It's £100 difference. Like I said, you could do a lot with that. At the same time, you have to really think about the digital versus physical disc option. So first and foremost, you will not have that Blu-ray / 4K drive. You're not going to have that. So you won't be able to play DVDs or 4K movies if you choose. I know most people stream their movies. I do on Netflix and stuff like that. And you can also I think you can upgrade to get is it the 4K version of Netflix or whatever? I'm not too sure. Or HD version, sorry, you can upgrade and pay £8 a month if you want to. At the same time, I love having that option of a disk drive for DVDs that I've got my current movies or 4K movies or whatever. But you know, yeah, I admit I do watch Netflix most of the time. However, there are other factors coming into it when it comes to the digital version. Okay, so let's go down these particular reasons why not to go digital. And please do think about it, each and every one, and see it and weigh it up in your own mind. You can't return purchases. Well, now I would like to see them have a system in place where you can basically sell games back to the PSN store and they give you a currency on your account. That'd be kind of cool. I don't think they're going to have that, but it'd be a nice option. But there you go. So you can't return purchases, and if you think a game's shit, or maybe your kid or whatever buys something and you know it costs 50 quid, they click on it because they want to play it and they just bought it. We've had this issue before as well. Yeah, you can say that they're kind of nice and they've reimbursed you. Yeah, okay, they might do that once or twice, but at some point they're going to say, fuck you, no way, we're not doing that. And they could refuse it. So I would be very wary of that. You cannot, if you buy a game and it's crap and you lie about it once or twice, they're not going to keep on doing it for you. I see a lot of people buy games and say this is crap, I'm not happy with it, or you know, even asking if a game's good, which doesn't make sense because you've got YouTube, someone's played it, someone's did a review of it, so check that out before you start purchasing games. That is what you have to do, or you know, there's going to come a point where they're not going to be giving you your money back, and £50 a pop is a lot of money to have wasted, especially if you're a parent and your kid's taken out of your bank account. You can't borrow your friend's games, so if you don't want to fork out that money for a game when your friend has it, you just want to try it. You know, you won't be able to do that unless they give you, you give them your account or they give you their account, which again is something I very much don't trust about giving anyone my account or my trophies, access to my bank account, or they can purchase games if they want to through my card. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be on the actual system. I don't like the idea of doing that, and you know, it's just going to be a pain in the backside because then you can't borrow games for your friends or anything like that. So that kind of sucks as well. Now, like I said, I have one person I probably would do it with, but at the same time, it's still not something that I would want to do, really. You know what I mean? It is what it is. So it's a lot of trust there, but it is what it is. You can't trade in your old games, it being all digital. That means anything that you've played, completed in a day, because there are people that complete games in a day, literally. I've done it, my friend's done it, and it's like, we paid X amount of money for this, we completed it in like 4 or 5 hours. That kind of sucks, you know what I mean? And then you can't actually, you won't be able to trade the game in or anything like that, so you won't be able to put it towards your next purchase of a game if you buy it all digital. Now, plus with a downloaded game as well, but all the memory, which you're only going to get about, I thought you was going to get 1 terabyte. You probably technically do get 1 terabyte on the PS5, but the actual memory you're going to have for games is about 825 gigabytes, or maybe a bit more than that, but over 800 gigabytes. The rest of it's going to go to the UI or user interface, which takes away from that 1 terabyte. Now, don't get me wrong, right now I've got a lot of games on my console and I've still got about 200 gigabytes left. But remember, with the big games being bigger these days, that's going to take up a lot of memory. I assume that the newer games are going to take up a lot of memory. If Call of Duty Modern Warfare is 200 gigabytes now, imagine what a game coming out with a massive, you know, universe or whatever it's going to have, and all the stuff it's going to entail with the memory. It's going to be a killer on your memory. So that's another reason I wouldn't go digital, because if you do that, all the game will be on the actual console. There'll be none on the disc where it just runs off the disc. You're going to have a partition of a game being run off the disc as well as the actual memory itself. Of course, they do have a component now where you can choose. I don't know if it's what you can basically pick what to install first. I don't know if they have a part where they say, look, we just want the story and not the multiplayer, or maybe you want to delete the story mode and just keep the multiplayer. That would be a cool feature. I'm not too sure if they've got that going forward. If you can, you know, if you can keep that or not, if that option is available. Also, the last thing that I want to talk about in terms of digital games is if they think or deem that you have cheated, they can ban you or whatever, and basically or kick or take your account away, and you've lost hundreds and hundreds of pounds worth of games on your account, and you lose it all. Even if you appeal and they say, "Now we think this, that, and the other," you lose it all. You know, now you can say, "Oh well, if you're a cheater, then you deserve it," blah blah blah, which I understand. But there are people that have generally been accused of cheating that haven't cheated and lose their money and all their account and all the games that they've bought. So that's another reason I wouldn't go digital. Not that I'm cheating, but at the same time, I don't like the idea of Sony or anyone having power over my account to the point where they take it away and then I lose all my money and all my games are gone and everything else. You know what I mean? That's just the way I am, though. At the end of the day. So yeah, guys, that is my opinion on the PS5. I do have another piece of information here related to the Xbox codename Lockhart, which is another. Basically, this is just a rumor at this point, but apparently it may be announced in July. Basically, this Xbox called Lockhart is going to be an all-digital console, and it will have obviously the next-gen games, but it will have a less powerful GPU. This basically is going to give you the next-gen experience on an Xbox next gen games, but with won't be 4K. And basically, this will be able to run on a 1080p television or 720 television, depending. If you haven't got 4K television, this might be the cheaper option for you, coming in at $200, which is about £161, I believe. So this may be a better option for parents and for people not gamers on a budget. Let's be honest. So maybe this will be a reason for people to go all digital, because that is an extremely heavy drop from around 400 of the Xbox Series X to the Lockhart. Again, this is just rumor. The $200 or £161, you'll be able to play Halo 5 on a 1080p television. Yeah, it won't be 4K, but it's still the cheaper option for parents and for casuals. If you're not that much of a hardcore gamer, or maybe you are and you just want to play it and can't afford the 400, or maybe you want to get both consoles. And you're like, man, I'll buy the PS5 and I'll buy the Xbox as well, but I'll buy the cheaper version of the Xbox. I personally don't even record in 4K, and I could probably do this if it. Again, this is just a rumor, and it would benefit me to play the next Halo Infinite or whatever on the Xbox and record it for you guys or whatever. At the same time, I'm one of those hardcore gamers be like, nah, fuck that. I want the full 4K experience. I want to play Halo in 4K, not 1080p. So again, that will be an option for parents or just gamers on a budget. And I wouldn't be surprised if you want both consoles, or maybe you just want one. Hell, just to experience most of the new games, minus the exclusives of Sony, and you'll do a clean sweep. I think a lot of people will snap that option up. I think it's a cheap version. Yes, it's all digital, even though it's got the problems I entailed about the PlayStation all digital version. That still applies with the Xbox, I believe, as well. Yeah, so it is with this, but it have a less powerful GPU. But it will still run next gen games, and that may be a lot more appealing to a lot more people. And I'll be honest with you, at that kind of price point, I couldn't blame anyone for doing that. Again, this is just a rumor at this point; it's not confirmed or anything. But wouldn't that be incredible if they did that? It would undercut Sony. Yes, they could absolutely afford to lose money on it, but they would make it up in digital sales. Like I said, 2 games. That's like 261. It's like, so they're right back up straight away. And with the Xbox Game Pass and everything, they're going to make their money all day long. So it could be a big way to undercut Sony in the console war or whatever. At the same time, I'm still going to be sticking with the PlayStation 5. That's what I'm going for. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and my reasons for not going all digital. My thoughts and opinions on the PlayStation 5. Can't wait for it to come out. But yeah, start saving now, I'd say, and as much money as you can for when the pre-orders hit. I don't know when that's going to be, unfortunately. Otherwise, I would have pre-ordered mine. I would have pre-ordered mine on Amazon already at this point. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next video. And excuse me, I now have to go and make an OnlyFans account because let's face it, I want all these consoles. I'm not going to be able to afford it. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.